That is Russell Westbrook hooping on a yacht. Oh, God. Like giving us the little moves, getting the zoom in. Oh, he's going. He's going. He's going. He's going to do the crossover. He's going to dribble a few times. Then he takes the one up. Shot goes in.
How many
Let's get
how
some.
many
I
balls
mean,
ended up in the water?
oh, that's the question. Let's get some thoughts on it. We're going to welcome the host of the KOC show on Yahoo Sports Nobody podcast who writes about the league better than this guy. Thanks for being here. Kevin O'Connor hanging out with us for the first time on Yahoo Sports Daily. So we're having a lot of fun. We're excited for you. Do you actually wish that you were on a yacht shooting with Russ?
I'm not a boat guy, and I'm also not a Russ guy. I think, like Caroline said, I mean, probably he lost a lot of balls, I'm guessing, and in the sea there. I mean, with Russell Westbrook, it is kind of strange. I mean, like it just shows the passage of time in the NBA. That on screen there, yes, exactly what it probably looks like. I think with Russ, it just shows the passage of time. It's weird that he's unsigned, and yet it's totally unsurprising considering his performance in recent years.
Whoever made that graphic ain't right. My goodness, he's
polluting. Oh no,
they're
factually accurate.
The
that
balls
is factually
that went off the yacht. Okay, he's a free agent, like you said. He's been linked to the Kings. There have been rumblings about where he could end up, but let's look into KOC's crystal ball on today, August 28th. Where would you predict Russell Westbrook ends up?
I think the Kings make some sense because they don't really know what they're doing. So I think with that in mind, I think the Kings make perfect sense for Russell Westbrook because their roster, they have some really good young players. They drafted Nick Clifford this year in their first round, who was very impressive at Las Vegas Summer League. They last year drafted Devin Carter, who suffered a shoulder injury and hopefully gets a full year healthy. I like him a lot. I had him ranked in my top 10 last year. So I think with the Kings, like they have good young players. It's just the veteran mix makes no sense. DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and then possibly Russell Westbrook, possibly Jonathan Kuminga, and trying to chase him as well still around Domantas Sabonis. Like it is the opposite of what those Kings offenses were, the light the beam Kings with Fox and Sabonis and Mike Brown as head coach. This is the opposite of that. It is your turn, my turn offense is what it looks like to me. And so, yes, Russell Westbrook would make perfect sense for that team because nothing makes sense for the Sacramento Kings.
Oh, when you say it that way, like, I don't know. It all feels so pointless. Look, we like clicks. We like.
Well, they're going to miss the playoffs, Jason. They're going to miss the playoffs. They're not going to make it in the West.
That is well. All right. So let's stick in the West for a second, because everybody loves talking about the Lakers. So let's talk about LeBron for a second. In the past, we've seen like all the Wash King hashtag, like all this motivational stuff. Now all I see on Twitter is that he's tweeting about golf. So like, is there some indication in your mind that we see this like new casual LeBron that tells us something about his future? Like, is this the last year of LeBron, considering he seems like he's focused on golf at this point, which is fine. I'm just curious.
I don't know, until LeBron himself announces that this is my final season, I'm going on a farewell tour. I'm not gonna like speculate necessarily that it's his last season because of these signs. LeBron is the type, he's gonna like make a big thing about it. I don't think it's gonna be hints. It could be hints leading into an announcement, but until he announces it, I don't see it happening. To me, the biggest thing from this summer, in addition to these posts that you're talking about, golfing and whatnot, it's that meeting he had with Jokic's agent in Europe and the rumors about him and Mav Carter and those guys joining together and starting a European league. Maybe LeBron, like he could be done with the NBA, but go play in Europe for a massive amount of money for, X amount of years. So, I think with LeBron, until he announces it, it's very hard to say because he's still great enough to play as long as he wants to, for still at this stage of his career in his 40s.
Yeah, speaking of LeBron and the Lakers, since they won that championship bubble championship rather, it has just felt like it's an organization that felt identityless, felt visionless, felt listless for the most part. Now there's a shift in ownership. They signed Luka long term. Has your confidence in the Lakers, what you think the vision for the Lakers is that clearer, more optimistic now this offseason, or do you still have more questions about what this Lakers organization in the future might be?
I think it's still clear, because Luka is still one of the 5 best players in the world. Doesn't matter how out of shape he is. He could be the best player in the world if he's in shape and has the best season of his career. This could be his MVP season. So I think anytime you have a player of that quality, you know what the direction of your team is, and that's trying to compete for championships. They had that with LeBron when he was, still at his peak, and they have that now, especially with Luka and LeBron. So I think the direction of the Lakers is pretty clear. And I know that earlier in the summer, there's stuff out there about how Pelinka, the Lakers GM, wants to wait until 2027 in order to start making big moves and all that. That very well could be the case. But I think if the right move is out there this season, just like it's been in recent years, he'll take that opportunity. And if Luka proves himself, it further increases the incentive to do that this year rather than waiting. To me, I read that as more of like a show us Luka, get in shape Luka, almost more than anything else with like LeBron and his desires to compete for a championship. That's just classic clutch, pressure on an organization trying to take advantage of LeBron.
But how are we supposed to view it from a Mavs standpoint now that we have skinny Luka, understanding that they may never have gotten that? Like, the Mavs may have always just had fat Luka, and fat Luka wouldn't be who skinny Luka. Like, I mean, there is some element of he's changed so much. How are we supposed to view it knowing that the Mavs just couldn't get that version of it?
People grow up at different rates. Like, the development is never linear as a person in your life or as a basketball player either. And so I think, with the Mavericks, maybe it would have happened this year. Maybe this summer, Luka would have entered the offseason and everything would have happened exactly the same way with the magazine cover and all of that. Maybe that would have all happened identically the same. But we don't know because he shockingly got traded and we are in the situation that we are. But I don't necessarily think that sometimes you have to fail multiple times in order to figure it out. And with Luka, maybe this was the final straw for him personally. And we'll see. I mean, look, like he looks like he's in good shape now. He said this week at Eurobasket how he feels like the biggest difference so far is that he's less tired. He's a little quicker. Like, we'll see. Like, can he keep the weight off all season? I know how that is during basketball season. And I'm just a writer type at a keyboard talking into a microphone. It's harder during the season when you're doing more stuff, you're traveling more. It's harder to keep the weight off. Never mind when you're a professional athlete in hotel rooms, planes, bus rides, and everything else. We see that all the time. Like, to me, the question is, can he stay in shape come March, April into the playoffs rather than entering the season in shape in October? How does he keep it off over the full year? To me, is the real biggest question with Luka.
I feel like we are obsessed as a basketball society with getting Giannis out of Milwaukee. And I don't know why we are obsessed with that every single year. But we did hear that once he gets back from Eurobasket, that there's going to be, more information about what Giannis's future could be. Do you expect Giannis to be a Buck this upcoming season, or could there potentially be some moves brewing behind the scenes?
I have no expectation that he's going to demand a trade before the season. I mean, he always could change his mind after spending time in Eurobasket and, having time to think about things rather than thinking about competing for Greece right now. Maybe he decides to make a move. Maybe something surprising comes up. We still have a ton of restricted free agents in limbo. The Warriors have still yet to have made a move this offseason, so there's still time. We've seen late trades in the summer before, as you mentioned, with Kyrie Irving. That happened in August when he got traded from the Cavaliers to the Celtics. So there's always a possibility, but I've yet to hear anything of substance to believe that he's going to get traded before the season. I believe the Bucks did enough to at least look appealing to him to want to stay there at least through February.
All right, so an MVP in the hearts of many, Al Horford, still not signed anywhere. I guess 2 parts to this. Where's he end up, and does it surprise you that he's still on the street?
Not really. I mean, I think earlier in the offseason with Al Horford, there was rumblings that he was weighing retirement. And so with Horford, the fact that the Warriors are still waiting on the Jonathan Kuminga situation to work itself out, however it may, and that feels pretty dead at the current moment. I think until that is figured out, then we'll see what Horford decides to do. So it's like a domino effect with some of these remaining restricted free agents. And even then, at his age, he's about 40 right now. He very well could decide to wait until midseason and then choose the team that he wants to go to at that point of his career. It's deciding if he wants to continue or not. I mean, he's having another kid in December. So he's got, I think, his fifth on the way. So I think with Horford, he's got some life stuff going on. He's old. He's already won a championship. He's in the right to be patient and be especially particular in choosing where he wants to go and uproot his family.
And maybe what could potentially be the biggest NBA offseason storyline, Rajon Rondo's flag football career. Apparently, he is the #1 flag football quarterback in the nation. Which, congratulations to him. Your thoughts?
Unsurprised. Rondo has always fancied himself as a great quarterback. Going back to when he was a player on the Celtics, those big three Celtics teams, they would play football at the gym sometimes, and Rondo was always the quarterback. And he was also just such a magnificent passer, of course, as a point guard himself. So no, I am totally unsurprised that Rondo was a great quarterback. He has always walked the talk, and here we are with him actually doing it. So it's very cool to see. And also it seems like his son is a good basketball player as well. There's video of him that went viral recently. Big month for Rondo out of nowhere. Rondo going viral twice.
Yeah, I'm looking for Rondo. Like he's out here trying to get that Olympic medal, because we all know that's coming around the corner, right? Like trying to get himself an Olympic medal. Look, you're a gold medalist to us, Kevin O'Connor. Be sure to check out the KOC show. My friend, appreciate you. Next time we'll have to talk about the guitars on the wall. I want the details. But always appreciate you hanging out with us early in the morning, my friend. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Have a great day, guys.